Welcome back, Jackie Pepper. We're talking about 4 wood. We've been continuing on talking about all the 9-star numbers or Kwa numbers. So we're always converting from English to Chinese with a lot of these. You'll hear me say 2 names often because we're using the English version and, of course, something in Chinese. So 4 wood, we're continuing on with our numbers. And in the I Ching, the 4 wood has 2 yang lines on top and a broken yin line at the bottom. It's connected to the southeast in direction. So if you have a 9-star number 4 wood, then southeast becomes your principal direction in space, right? But since all the elements have other friendly elements that go with them, remember our cycle of friendly elements? Those are the elements usually in between the 2 elements not getting along, right? They bridge the gap. The other harmonious directions for 4 wood are going to be north, east, and south. So that if you go into your bedroom and you want to align your bed because you are the 4 wood by southeast, and that direction doesn't really work with the room. Maybe there's a window that you'd be putting the bed under, things like this. You would go with your other harmonious directions. These are other areas you can utilize that still get along with the 4 wood. 4 wood is a yin sign. So the 3 wood, which we discussed last time, was yang. This is more yin. So this person can get caught up a little bit and swept up in it all, which is why it's also connected to wind. This person's a great talker, maybe not so much action, right? Also, it's connected to the oldest daughter. All of the numbers have a placement in the family line. And 4 wood is connected to oldest daughter. So that energy would be, think of the oldest daughter wanting to put everything in place, being responsible, being a good person or a good girl, if you will, right? Some of the qualities we think of in the older times when oldest daughter had a much more formal role, right? So we're taking some of those principles and characteristics and attaching them here. The colors are going to be greens and light blues for 4 wood. So these would be great. Again, if your bedroom position, we were putting our door in the principal direction, right? You might want to add some of the colors in and around that area to give you a little more zhuzh, support yourself, right? When we're talking about wood always, there's the 5 elements. 5 element theory is in everything in the East. You're going to see it in feng shui. You're going to see it in medicine. You're going to see it in music and herbs, right? In this particular case, and again, wood's always connected to liver and gallbladder. So this person, the 4 wood, needs to be mindful that these are the areas when in an imbalanced state in your life, these might be the first things you look at, right? And when we're connected to them, liver, anger, gallbladder, anger, inflexibility, not being able to go with the flow. These are some of those principles. So liver and gallbladder, when we're in an imbalanced state, again, that branch that sways in the wind, right? But if you push it too hard and it snaps, the anger comes out. So wood takes a minute to get pushed to that level, right? And especially with the yin. So 3 wood's probably going to get there quicker than 4 wood, which is more of the yin. But once they're pushed to that extent where you really crossed a boundary, they're going to let you know. The other things about 4 wood. So did I mention this is Raphael's book? This is my master and teacher. And he has 2 books that I utilize a lot, obviously with his permission, to teach you. And I'm going to read from this one book a little more of the qualities on the 4-wood star. Like the wind, your mind flows. You are naturally gentle. However, you can become extremely restless, and when under too much pressure, you can become stormy. We talked about that if you think of the metaphor of the branch on a tree. You may tend to have scattered interests or overwork. Okay, so that's when you get windy and blustered and blown about. Sometimes the yin quality in people make them go with the flow a little bit too much. And these are things we want to be mindful of. You may tend to worry about the future or become indecisive or confused or procrastinate. These can be aspects of the wood element, in particular, the 4-wood star. It is generally better for you to work for others than for you to work for yourself. So that's a little different than the 3 yang, where that person could be their own boss. The yin likes to be told a little bit more what to do so that they are not overworking, right? Okay, so wind, it's connected also to the crane and movement, right? That blustery wind that we can think about. It's about flying, communication, marriage, relationships. It bends and it's flexible, but only to a point. It can be fortunate. Sometimes it moves too fast. It can increase the circle of friends, right? When we're in an imbalanced state, you might have trouble making your mind up. So you're vacillating, you're wavering. Should I, shouldn't I? Is it this? Is it that? So when we're having those moments as a 4-wood person, take a moment, go within, collect your thoughts, and really make sure when you're moving forward, you have a more organized structure to what you're doing in your mind. For wood, greens, light blues, southeast, and the other directions, northeast, and south. These are the directions you want to be mindful of when you're working on your bed placement, or if your front door is on a 4-wood. All these principles can come into play. I hope that helped you understand the 4-wood a little deeper. Thanks for being with me.